Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Moto, and one of the most iconic two-wheeled machines on the earth here is the red Honda dirt bike. They've been building four-stroke dirt bikes for decades now, and whether you're a pro rider or an absolute child beginner, getting on a little CRF or big CRF is one of the most surefire ways to have a good time out on two wheels in the sand, in the dirt, in whatever sort of environment you want to ride. Now, for many, many years, the most wide-range do-it-all dirt bike that Honda has made is the CRF300F. But for the 2026 model year, Honda has updated it with a larger 294cc liquid-cooled single. They've given it 6 gears and given it this, the CRF300F badge. Some updated styling to make it look a little bit more like the motocross bikes, but we still have a very straightforward, tried-and-true formula here. It's quite a bit smaller, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but a little bit smaller and more approachable, maybe about 7/8 size you might say, compared to one of those big motocross sort of bikes. But we still have over 11 inches of ground clearance, plenty of suspension travel, 21-inch front, 18-inch rear tires, and now with just a little bit more wide range of grunt and power, and a little bit more usability because of that transmission. We're dealing with about 274 pounds wet and ready to ride. So today we are going to do just that. We are out at some BLM land south of Ocotillo Wells. The park is right over there. And not only do we have this CRF300F, but we have 2 more, because what's even better than going out and riding than doing it with your friends? And we've got a wide range of dirt experience here today. I am moderately experienced. I'm certainly no professional out here on the dirt. I have ridden much more street, but getting on bikes like this makes me enjoy dirt riding that much more. And then we've got Dax and we've got Anish. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know Dax and I went out and did a good long day of riding out in the Mojave Desert with the CRF300L, the dual sport version, as well as the Kawasaki KLX 300. We had a great time with those, but the tires certainly weren't quite up to the deep sand that we were dealing with out in the desert. And then Anish has been riding street for many, many years, but this is actually his first time out on dirt. So this is going to be a great experience of intermediate, novice, and beginner riders out here on Honda's kind of do-it-all sort of motorcycle. Honda says that they sell these primarily to adults, but with a very, very wide age range, all the way up to old veteran riders and younger, less experienced riders. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to see what this bike is like for this whole gamut of riding experiences. Swinging a leg over it, it's still a very straightforward and simple motorcycle. We've got red plastics, a red seat. We do have a keyed ignition with a little fuel light, and clutch lever, brake lever, starter, kill switch, and that's all that's stopping you from going out and riding. We've got a 1.6 gallon fuel tank, so it should allow us a full day's worth of shenanigans here. Hear that fuel pump run. A good old Honda 4-stroke single. Now it just rained, actually a little bit last night, but a lot of rain a few days ago out here in the desert south of Ocotillo Wells. So you can see this surface is actually surprisingly grippy, and it's making for a really fun riding experience where you can almost jet ski the bikes around. We're gonna have so much fun today. I'm really looking forward to it. It's also cool to experience full-on dirt bike after riding dual sports for a while, because you just have so much more grip, so much more suspension, and so much more liveliness to the engine. Obviously a little bit less weight to haul around as well. Honda has done a little bit of improvement to the suspension for 2026 as well, but generally it's a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situation. Anyone who's ridden a CRF300F is going to be very familiar and comfortable with the 300. Just a big old smile machine. ran at just about $5,000, maybe a little bit more than that once you're signing the paperwork. It's a very approachable price point as well for as much fun as you're getting. Now I'm about 5'10", 165 pounds. This is a very comfortable size for me. Good standing ability here, good sitting ability. Can put my feet down nicely. Oh my gosh, is that fun. And the thing is with this class of dirt bike is it's right up around where you can test the upper limits of speed and power. You're not exactly lifting the front end up, wheeling very easily. But you're also not wanting for more. You can get out here in the desert, stretch its legs a little bit more, especially with this extra gear, extra displacement. I mean, you can really build up some good speed, but then you still have the flickability and the approachability to kind of do whatever you want. Almost a tractor-like first gear. If I go down in the first here, try to come up the sand hill. Almost a walking speed there. Same thing coming down. Nice light little clutch. All right, so the guys are gonna get geared up here. We're gonna head out and go explore life on two wheels with the CRF300F. Let's do it. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh! Almost didn't have enough speed for that one. So just get kind of a lift right here. Yep. Ready? Yeah. Woo, look at your slide there, Annie. You got that back end kicking out. Looking good. Boys, a few hours in, what do you think?
Yeah, it's fun as fuck.
Yeah. Any thoughts so far riding dirt versus street, Annie?
You have to get used to the traction, but once you get that, it's so much more fun. I think.
Totally different skill set in a way. Like it's like
It's almost the difference between regular street riding and then track riding. Yeah.
I think one of the big things is learning to kind of like steer with your back tire. You know, you kind of let the clutch out and like, you know, let the rear end situate itself and then you go in that direction. Instead of like street riding is all like get up over the front tire and point the bike where you want to go.
And honestly, it's a lot of reading the terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It's kind of just like sliding around. You just gotta kind of just know you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Pick a line, you know, you might move it a little bit and you kind of skate back and forth.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Manish, you're about 5'7", right?
Yep, that's 5'8".
So there's how have you been fitting on the bike? You feel confident in it, height-wise, everything? I mean, you're clearly flat-footed. Yeah. And we did have a little bit of spillage, but the nice thing about no mirrors and no signals or anything is, I think this is the biggest downside we got. It's a little bit of bent clutch, but nothing too bad. Yeah, still works just fine. Here we are, day 2 on the CRF300Fs. We had a few spills yesterday, but the bikes have been robust. No issues there, no issues with the riders. So we're ready to go mess around a little bit more. And I'm really impressed that we topped the bikes off yesterday, did a good full midday of riding, and still no fuel lights. I think instead of topping them off, we're not gonna do a ton of riding today. We'll just kind of go out with what we got. I'm kind of curious if the fuel light is even gonna come on. I mean, these motors, we know with Honda motors, they're just so fuel efficient. So we were kind of talking yesterday, if you kind of had to choose what toy you wanted to take out and do these sort of activities with, motorcycles are a lot less expensive than something like a side-by-side that would have gone through 10, 15 gallons of fuel in the time that we've pretty much gone through 3 here, if that. So we're in BLM land here, so going across country like this is totally fine. Ooh, want to watch out for these little ravines, but the first gear on the CRF300F, look how low it is, or high, or however you'd say it. It's like a tractor gear. You can just walk right up these sort of things. And again, these bikes just have just the right amount of grunt, gearing, tire to be able to kind of come off these little things and go, woo! Pop up. And then you come to something like this. We found that you could pretty much just mess around in second gear, even from a stop. First is so high. Woo, look at that. Look at this big opening here. This is just fantastic. Second gear into third. That extra displacement just letting you really pull hard even out of third gear. All right, we gotta go find the boys. Where'd they go? Let's follow the tracks here. There's some red. Then when you get to more flat open places like this, you just get up third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. And because of that extra 6th gear there at the top, they're all just a little bit closer. Can really take advantage of that power band. Come up into something like this. There's 6. I mean, obviously I don't know exactly how fast I'm going, but it's plenty fast enough to have a really good time. And also just make up some distance. If you're going somewhere where you're trying to kind of really cover some mileage, having that extra gear is just going to allow you to save a little bit of fuel, go a little bit quicker, and just generally take better advantage of this little motor. Because I mean, even though we're up to 294cc growing off the 250F, it's still not a big bore bike by any means, and it's a very relaxed motor. So it's good to have the transmission that can just best optimize those gears, because the thing is with the 300F, you might be taking it out to the desert like this, stretching its legs, but then 2 weekends from now you might be taking it up into the mountains and to the single track and playing around with it that way. So having that extra gear just kind of helps the versatility for different sort of riding and different sort of riders. Suspension has been the only place that I could kind of see some people kind of growing out of this bike. I'll say suspension and then just overall size, because when you're a little bit more of a novice or relaxed rider, or just straight up a little bit smaller, this is an awesome size bike. It's very easy to manhandle, very easy to just twist right through trees like this and everything. But I even found myself by the end of yesterday thinking, okay, if I were on a bike that were just a little bit larger, a little bit more opened up ergos, and a little bit more suspension travel, I'd be able to eat some of those rougher bumps that the side-by-sides create on all of those bigger trails a little bit better. I mean, there's a reason that we're kind of just riding through the bush here instead of taking the actual trail, is because, again, if any of you get out on these trails often probably know, the side-by-sides just create these terrible bumps throughout all the trails, and on the bike it's almost like a motocross course. Like, and these 300F suspensions do a decent enough job, but there was definitely a time yesterday when I was like, all right, I could see the advantage of being on a full-on kind of cross-country model instead of a little bit more of this trail bike. But again, even in stock form, these engines and mufflers pretty quiet, so just cruising through here, kind of taking it easy. It's relaxing. It's a great bike to be riding for an environment like this, where we're not out here trying to set lap records or make big jumps or anything. We're just having a good time, just three guys riding, enjoying the weekend out here in nature. And we're gonna ride down here, check out this mountain range, trying to toy around, and then come on back and load them up in the truck. And we've been able to do that with just a little bit of regular gasoline. Pretty chill riding experience. Been able to dump the bikes, fire them right back up, no problem. Hondas are just great for getting out and making riding accessible. Here's a great example of that 6th gear coming into play. Made it down by this train track, and I'm in top gear right now. Even if I'm not maxing it out, just cruising here, making up some serious time, serious ground. And I'm not pinging off the rev limiter of this little single. Vibrations are good. I'm not getting a lot through the handlebars. I'll be fine to be riding at these higher speeds. Quick gear shot out here. You can't quite see all of me, but I am wearing the Alpine Stars. I don't know what the actual name is of the outfit, but it fits pretty well in this dirt kind of sand riding experience. Looking at it here, you got kind of this jersey and then a little bit of protection underneath, the padded vest, and then I've got the Tech 5 boots on. Just a nice outfit for this sort of riding. It's honestly even a little bit cool. Oh fuck, that one's fun. Holy shit. Oh, Annie, what the fuck? What did you do? Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh. Woo! All right, made it back. Got some fuel lights on. Still longer than I expected. Definitely a full day's worth of riding out of this tank. Man, what a just fun couple little bikes here. Just so approachable, so flickable. Just enough power to kind of pull up that front, have a great time with your friends. Oh, and the main thing is, I just don't want to be done. That's the thing with fun things like this. When things are going well, you just want to keep going, keep going. So obviously Honda has quite the robust lineup of trail bikes, but the 300F is now firmly positioned in the most both approachable and do-it-all kind of bike in their lineup. And at $5,000, you can do a whole lot worse on two wheels than this little machine. We've had a great time ripping them around this weekend, and I know you'll have a great time riding them too. Now, I might end up keeping this bike for a little while longer, trying to squeeze in some other rides, but I can tell you, even for out here in the desert, kind of opening it up, this is a great little bike. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on Honda's CRF lineup, check the link below. We've spent plenty of time on the 300L and the 300L Rally, and then maybe we'll try to get on one of the smaller CRFs at some point here also. So check the link below if you want to see the videos on those. We also have some coverage from the green bikes, the KLX lineup. We'll probably try to pit one of the KLXs against the CRF300F at some point, but we had some fun times riding trail on the KLX 230R and RS lineup. So if you're somebody who really wants a shorter bike, that is going to be where you're going to want to go. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Moto, and as always, ride on.